Your room is live and ready whenever you are.
Good morning, everybody. It is now 10 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order and we can start with the pledge.
Are you ready?
And Jim, if you would lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And when I turn her microphone on, she can do the roll call.
Logan.
Present.
Bullock.
Present.
Butler.
Here.
Freeman. Newquist. Revis. Trinier.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Wonderful. And our first item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from July 22nd. Can I have a motion?
Second, you.
Motion Freeman, second Newquist. Sandy, could you call the roll?
Logan.
Yes.
Bullock.
Yes.
Butler. Freeman. Newquist.
Yes.
Trinier.
Yes.
Motion passes.
So it's exciting under old business. We are starting a whole brand new discussion that we have as a committee not had before. So I'm going to leave it up to Phil to guide us through these ordinances. We're going to start with Chapter 50, Public Works, Chapter 50, Solid Waste Disposal. And isn't it appropriate after the last committee?
Hearing this. He needs his microphone. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There we go.
In preparing this, I spoke to Waste Services for us. That's why the fee dollars have been changed, because what we're actually using now is what we put in here.
Hmm.
I struck out some of the provisions that no longer apply because they were time sensitive to a certain period of time that doesn't exist anymore, because we passed one of them like in between a period of change for the dollars.
Mm-hmm.
The exemptions were taken out because, from what I understand, we don't offer those exemptions anymore. And again, those were because it was time constraint and we're past that time period now. But other than that, everything is basically what the current ordinance says. In the definitions, I changed the word state to Illinois Environmental Protection Agency because we usually go by IEPA, so I wanted the initials to match
Mm-hmm.
the definition. But either one would have been sufficient. And obviously I changed the effective date to just say it's effective on date of passage, because when we passed it before, we had a future effective date because it involved some changes of dollars. But that was basically it. There hasn't really been any, what I would consider any kind of substantive changes in the solid waste disposal.
Does anybody, Ms. Newquist has a question? Member Newquist?
Yep, I just kind of had a general question about some of the strikeouts. Like, for example, 50.02, adoption of county volume reduction, and then the exemptions like you were mentioning. Did we repeal those, or did the state?
No, from what I understand, we did. We don't have it anymore.
Okay,
But it never came into this ordinance. It was a separate resolution or ordinance you passed.
got it. And then I had one other thing I was confused about, 50.24, solid waste disposal report. If I'm reading this right, it says the report should be due at payment, but then it says the payment is due at report. So I was like, am I reading this right?
What I asked them about, because I discussed it with them. They used to have quarterly reports, and they said they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I
If you
saw
look
the
at the
quarterly.
bottom, if you look at 5025, payment of fees, that says when the payments shall be made. And so the payments shall be made, they basically make them pay it once a year. He said some of them pay them every month, but they make them pay them once a year at least.
Yeah, it says every owner or operator, blah, blah, at the time the report required.
Right.
And then in 50.24, it says that the reports are due at the time of payment. So that's kind of confusing. I mean, I don't know. If nobody else finds it confusing,
Well,
I can,
No, I agreed, and I actually had some questions on that 50.24 as well, so.
I, well, if you look in 5024A, the second sentence, it says a solid waste disposal report shall be due within 30 days following the end of each month or calendar quarter and shall be in the form provided by the county. So they have to make a report at the most quarterly. Some of them do it monthly. And so that's the time when they make the reports, and that's the time when they're supposed to make their fees.
so in other words, the report is due whenever their fee is due.
Well, but it also says that the solid waste disposal report shall be due within 30 days following the end of each month or calendar quarter and shall be in the form provided by the county. The report shall be tendered to the county. And that says that they have to do a report at least quarterly, but most of them do it monthly.
But I guess what I'm thinking is, how often do they pay then? They pay,
Well, the next provision, they have to pay when they make their report.
Mhm.
They make
So-
a report and send a check in at the same time.
Yeah. so-
okay, so there's no, but there's no schedule. It doesn't say the report is due on this date, or it just, it's basically just the 30 days,
No,
okay?
no, they have their option. They can do it quarterly
Yeah,
or monthly.
Or monthly,
And they
okay.
have to do it 30 days after your due date.
But
whatever
whenever
you decide.
they make their
Yeah.
report, they have to send in a payment.
Mhm.
And is the payment different, I'm assuming, depending if it's a quarterly report or a monthly
Well, it'll be
report?
bigger if it's quarterly
Yeah.
because it's for a
Got it.
3-month
I
period.
don't know, I just thought this really was confusing, but that's okay, I can live with it.
Well, Yeah, hold on.
I think the confusion is the way they say the same thing twice. I think the important thing to remember is that you have to have the report for the payment.
Mhm.
So it
Got
has
it.
to be done at the same time. And I
Because
guess,
the
I guess that
report tells them
allows
how
you the
much-
flexibility of doing it quarterly or monthly or whatever. However you decide to do it, if you want anything, they have to come together.
Right, and,
Okay.
and the report says how much they've put in, and that's what determines the fee, as I
got it.
understand from reading in the subsequent sections.
Yep,
It's based on the volume.
yes, I know
My
that.
question on 50.24, since she brought it up, was in the second line, county is not capitalized.
Okay.
And in the third line, it's not capitalized, but it is all the way down in the sixth line. So I didn't understand that. And these reports, it says they go to the county, and at one point, I guess they used to go to the treasurer. Who actually gets these reports?
The land,
The land, energy, concert, whatever
Correct.
that.
solid
acronym is.
waste department gets the reports. They said, take treasurer out. I talked to treasurer.
Okay.
Treasurer says, we don't get the reports. We get the money.
Okay,
The money comes like, they wash it through, and that's why I changed it to county, because they don't send it directly to treasurer. They send it to, with their report, and then the office over in the old federal building forwards it over here.
okay. Member Williams, you had your light on. You got your question answered? Okay. Member Butler?
When you say reports, are you talking about the audits?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Member Freeman.
So we have a landfill committee.
Mhm.
Shouldn't the landfill committee also be getting these reports? Because we never see them.
I know, there is
Does
an
the county
annual.
executive see them, or is it just going to one guy and it's like, we're done?
I seem to remember the audit or the annual report, I think, and I might be wrong, Mr. Mock's gonna correct me. I thought we got something once a year.
The
On a
auditor-
county
the
agenda,
auditor once
the
a
audit
year does audit it, and that's in 5025,
Yeah,
where it says the fund shall be audited by the county auditor. And when he gives you the annual report, that fund is within those funds.
mhm.
If you wanted to have, it's like every other report, as long as it's on file, it's public record. If any county board member was interested, you just call land use up and say, forward it to me. They'll forward it to you every month. But if you want a specific, if you want it on file in duplicate places, one with the landfill committee, you could put that in here. That's your
I
choice.
think we should
think
put
it
this,
should,
since
because
we now have a standing
it.
committee for the landfill. I agree with you. That was my question. Did the executive get it? I feel like the board saw it at least. I don't know, my memory could be wrong.
Literally, the executive office does not see it. Their sub-office at solid waste sees it and stores it.
Nobody's ever brought it to any committee on the county board because I feel like
Not
I've seen
that I'm-
those before.
Not, if they did it, it was informational. It's not required. I have no trouble. If you want to add in 5024
Yeah,
to the last sentence, I can add a new sentence. It says the report shall be tendered to the county and forwarded within, I don't know, 14 days to the
landfill committee.
landfill committee. We can
Yeah.
add that language easily.
I think, I'm not hearing that anybody wouldn't want that, so I think it's probably good to put that in there, just to bring it to their attention, and so they have some idea of the volume and so forth. Member Butler, you had a question?
Yeah, so what exactly is in this report?
I assume it's about how much by weight garbage has been put into the landfill and
So all
how
the
much fees we've
All the
collected.
invoices from each truck?
No,
It's a report. It says,
the
I'm
cumulative total.
Republic Waste Services, and I brought in 10 tons of stuff, and here's your $5 for it, or whatever it is. I'm Waste Management. I brought in X, and here's your dollars.
Mhm.
It doesn't give ticket by
Breakdown.
ticket.
No,
It only gives the ticket by ticket for small entities that may
Well, in-
drop one load a year or one load a month out there.
Well, in order for the auditor to audit it, don't they require the invoices for every?
But that's separate.
this
That-
is the report
This
that
is a
the
report. The
auditor-
auditor audits everything.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for, as far as this whole ordinance, like we're updating this, is this like a living document? I mean, can this stuff, are we on a deadline? Like if something
No.
needs to be added later, we can just
We
jump in
can-
there?
You can
We've
change
discussed
anything.
this many times, anytime anything, any committee brings up that's going to make a change to the ordinance, when that issue is passed at the full board, we will also have the matching ordinance with the updated language included to be passed as well. It'll be done all together instead of where we just do something now and 40 years from now, we go and correct
Right,
the ordinance.
Instead of
It's
doing a
not like
resolution.
it's not like the agenda that you do once a year. This could be done now and then in a month, something could be added. Okay.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
You can, it's a living document.
It should be done every time you
Right.
change it.
Member Newquist.
Thank you. You guys, I really have no interest in getting individual reports from individual haulers. I mean, if this is a Republic report or a waste management report, I don't need to see that.
No, it's just the
Auditors.
auditor report that you.
The
can
auditor
see.
report, yes,
But
that's,
well, you'll get a report that, and you'll get a report. And if you, I got to be careful now. Because they get a report from each hauler. And I was going to propose language that says, and forward those to you, but that would be multiple reports.
No, we don't.
If you want to say and forward a summary of all reports to you, so you get one report that says 10 tons, $150 for everybody, that would be okay too. That's up to you.
I-
But
I
you
thought
gotta
you
write
just
it the
wanted-
right way.
I thought they just wanted the audit report, the annual audit.
Oh, I thought they wanted every report, every monthly report or
I'm-
report.
I'm fine with the annual audit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you get
don't
that already
really-
though. The auditor should give you that.
Okay.
Say,
I'm just not sure. I feel like I've seen it, but I don't know in what capacity, what committee I was
Yeah,
on.
I don't know if I've ever
And I think
seen
it should
that
go to landfill.
either.
Yeah, I think it should go to the landfill
Right.
committee.
All right.
Right.
And it should go, like you said, 14 days after the audit report is compiled and
Well,
filed.
then I would recommend it, we'd not put it in 5024, we'd put it in 5025.
Okay.
And after the words, this fund shall be audited by the county auditor,
Mm-hmm,
and I would give him 30 days.
mm-hmm.
And within 30 days thereafter, he shall forward it, the auditor shall forward it to the landfill committee.
Yep, that'd be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, just, I wanted to be clear that we just want it once a year. Member Freeman,
So are we gonna bounce around or are we gonna work through the beginning of?
we're gonna work through it.
Okay,
So,
because
I
I
mean,
didn't know if you wanted me to
yeah,
start.
if you've
bouncing
got something,
But if we're
bring it
gonna
up.
work through it, I'll wait till we get there.
okay, all right. So far, we've made it to 5024.
Well, I had one for 5022.
Okay, well, then speak up, dear.
Okay, 5022, I'm looking at these numbers. And there are a lot of differing weights, and it doesn't seem like they make sense in my brain. So I need help here. For like number 2, if more than 1,000 cubic yards, but not more than 150 cubic yards, you're going to pay $33,350. You cut that in half, now you only have to pay 15.5. Well, that's not half of 33.
I believe this is
350.
what was negotiated or into a contract or
So that's
decided
my
by
question.
somebody.
Where did these numbers come from? And
I know we updated the contract with Waste Management at one point.
so are these their
Is this from,
figures?
from
This
that?
this is from that, but it
Mhm.
applies to all haulers equally, but
Right.
waste management's our big one.
Right, and they're the manager of the landfill. And that's the contract that was updated, is the contract between the county
Okay.
and the operator of the landfill. And
Yeah, I was like.
they
what-
should have
good-
given that history in the landfill committee, and maybe when they gave it, not everybody was here or at
Yeah.
that meeting, but I actually have a full couple pages of notes at home. And they talked about it. At one point, our fees were so high that nobody was going to bring garbage to us. And that's why they reduced the fees. They did
That
a
makes
negotiation to
sense.
make a change in the fees.
And they lowered, I believe they lowered the fees for the smaller amounts percentage wise, which sounds ridiculous, but we're trying to conserve our landfill. And if they bring in smaller amounts annually, maybe they're taking it somewhere else. We're saving some space besides.
Mhm.
We're not trying to maximize our profit by saying, bring us 20 million tons and we'll charge you less money than if you bring us 1 ton.
Right.
So it's sort of like reversed.
Okay.
Member Butler.
So, if this is more than 100 to 150, is that proportional? I don't understand why they can't just
This
make it proportional to the weight.
This is just a one-time fee for if you fall within that range.
So big companies that put out a lot might get less, might have to pay less fees.
Well, they
So
pay
the
less.
companies that put in the most garbage pay the less. At least-
No, they pay more.
No.
based
What
on
he's
it.
saying is if you bring in 150,000 cubic yards, you pay the same price as if somebody else only brought in 100,000 cubic yards.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And
I
they
just-
do, that's just how
and-
they categorize.
I know, but in, today's world with technology, you couldn't just apply the multiplier to any weight. I mean,
They,
I'm not in this business and
they
I'm going to assume the
could,
people
but
at
this
the
is
table.
based on
it's
our,
not the
this
business, it's a simple math.
this is based on our contract with,
It is a business.
yeah.
This is simple math.
And in the next contract negotiations, if you want to say, if you're between this and this, it's
Yeah.
$10 a ton or
Do it
whatever,
every
you can do that.
1,000 tons that, but that would be the next contract negotiation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have no control if it's negotiated. I was just curious because it was like, that
Yeah,
doesn't even make any sense in my brain.
Yeah, and I would just say again, in 50.22, the word county isn't capitalized. I know
Now, you
when
gotta
you
realize
talk about it
something.
generically, you're not supposed to.
Right, when you're, especially when you mentioned it in the other one,
Yeah, I got a
it
little,
was talking about there is located within the county means a geographical basis. When you talk about the county, it's the government. If you want me to just make every county capital, I could,
yeah,
but that's why I didn't, because it didn't mean the county, it meant the geographical area of the county.
okay. Anyway, like I said, it just gets a little confusing when we do it on some and not on others. And it just does say prescribed by the county in 50.24, and we capitalized it, but whatever.
Then also in 5022, in A,
Mm-hmm.
it says the county shall assess and collect the fee in the amount established by resolution. Should it say a resolution? Do we just need to add the word No?
I mean, that's a
Okay.
art term, I think. It's like commas.
Well, sometimes the legal mumbo jumbo and my grammar correct is,
You could do it either way.
Yeah.
okay. That's all I had for those. And you already picked up
Yeah.
on my, who does this go to?
Yeah.
So we can move on. Thank you.
All right. Anything after 5022? Going once, going
Okay,
twice?
No, wait.
Did you have something
Oh,
before?
yeah. Where are you at now?
We're at 5022.
Okay, okay.
Okay. 5023 just was completely wiped off the board. And I assume that's by the contract.
It's, well, the time passed for
Right.
it. It was special language.
Right, it's gone. So 24 and 25, we've kind of covered. 26, Anybody have any questions there?
They had me increase, they wanted 6 months' notice if they're gonna
Right.
do it instead of 90, and that's reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost all contracts now, they require 6 months notice before you terminate. 27 got wiped out,
Again, it was time constrained and it
Right.
was fast.
and then 50.40, he explained that that was the change of the name of the IEPA.
So, I do
Mhm.
have one there.
Go ahead.
When we have the acronyms like CCDD and then behind it, should those all be capitalized? Because it's like a continuing issue in here.
Oh, clean and construction
Right.
or demolition and
Clean
debris.
construction or demolition debris, should those CCDD be capitalized? Because it's like, it's an issue all the way down.
I would think it would be.
Right.
Aren't they capitalized?
I mean, it's a,
No, she's saying in the explanation of what CCDD stands for, the words are not capitalized.
right.
In
And I don't know if
50.40,
there's-
where
I
it's given the
only
definition.
capitalized the beginning of it.
CCDD is the acronym.
Right,
It
that
is
gets
capitalized.
capitalized.
Construction or demolition debris. It's not you know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that should be capitalized.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
Nope,
Ms.
not
Rainey?
in that one.
Okay, in retention of records, that's 50.41. I just had the question where it says retained by the operator for 3 years. Why 3 years? Is this a law? Did we decide it was 3 years in a contract?
It's what
I
I don't
know
know
it's
if it's
what's
in the
here.
I don't know if it's in the contract or not, but we came up with, that's how long they keep it. We keep our copies. We can go back.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to
We
know.
keep our information.
Hmm.
They only have to keep theirs
For
for
3
3
years.
years.
That's what I wanted to know, because if anything hazardous ever got in there and we were getting sued
have our
20 years
records.
later,
We got,
I would want to know we had records somewhere. The 3 years thing made me a little
we have
nervous.
to, those records are mainly for us for
Okay.
monetary enforcement. The 3 years, the 3 years record is for that to prove that they're, because they weigh their own loads and
Right.
stuff when they bring it in.
Right.
It's on the honor system. But the records that they provide us, their ultimate tonnage in those, we have to follow the Public Records Act. And I don't know how, that's at least 10 years, I can tell you right now, that we'd have to keep those.
Yeah, and maybe permanently, some
Maybe
records you
permanently,
can never
especially with
destroy.
digital age, they want you to just keep, they don't make you keep the paper copy, but they want an online copy.
Right. Now, I went through that with the township,
I have a
record
question.
keeping.
I have
And
a
getting
question.
permission to throw anything away. Member Berkowitz, you had a question.
Thank you, Chair Trunier. Phil, on paragraph A, just at the end of the sentence, it says photocopying by county. Do you want to update that?
Where are you at?
Oh,
What page?
okay.
Under A, because a lot of people don't even know what photocopying is anymore.
I don't
We're
see
so-
that.
Under,
We're so ancient.
under 5041A,
Yeah.
capital A,
Oh, okay.
I believe what Member Berkowitz wants is it to read at the end, the
Reproductive.
normal hours of operator for inspection and I would say digital or photocopying.
Okay,
And then that way you have electronic in there too.
thank you.
And I think county should be a capital C there.
Yes, that one should definitely be a capital C on that one. And again, if you want, I'll put capital Cs, I can do a search and put capital Cs everywhere from now on, even if it means the geographical area, it's not gonna hurt anything.
I think you'd have less conversations coming up if you did. So,
Okay.
Member Freeman.
So I had a question under 5041-2, where it
Mhm.
says the following certification. Should there be a blank for someone's name? I blank certify, or is this,
It just says I and then they sign it.
okay,
And then their signature is, and the name of it's at the bottom.
okay. Because before, it's always had like a little blank in it.
Those are
Okay,
like,
Micah Freeman
the ones with the
certified.
blanks usually are oaths.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
just a certification under the
Yeah.
EPA Act and it's not
This
written
is
like an
Like
oath.
something you're initialing on a contract. When you fill out this form, you're initialing and you're certifying that this
Got it.
is what it is.
Thanks, Ed.
Okay, page 8 then, 50.42.
I had a question. I'm not gonna turn my light off if you don't.
No, don't turn it off. Go ahead, Member Freeman.
5042-3. I hate to ask again, but it says operators of CCDD will fill operations style, submit each, who are they submitting this to? And then I find down later, maybe it goes to land use?
It all goes to them. It all goes to solid waste.
Mhm.
They're the ones that supervise our
Mhm.
operation of the landfill.
Yep.
They like are the ones the operators report to.
Okay, so we don't need to tell them
No,
that.
they know.
Okay. And is this a report that will be in part of the auditor's report that the landfill will be getting as well?
No, it's a separate report. The auditor's reports are not as detailed as these reports because it would be 100,000 pages long if you put the auditor for everything countywide to that detail.
But
The auditor's report's a summary of all these.
right. It's cumulative. Everything that happens at the landfill gets audited by the auditor to make sure that the amounts paid match the amounts of garbage that have been reported by hauler. Anything else on that page?
Nope, I think that was it.
Page 9. Member Berkowitz?
Thank you. So Phil, this specifies uncontaminated soil, uncontaminated volume. What about contaminated items?
Well, contaminated items
there-
aren't supposed to go in there. We have people at spot check at the landfill.
Okay.
And if they bring contaminated items in there, they send them out and make them leave.
Okay, so we've never inadvertently discovered or had contaminated items.
We've discovered them before and sent them and said, leave. But is there 100% guarantee there's not a 9-volt battery, which is a contaminated item in our landfill? There probably is.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they find it, they throw them out.
Mhm.
Okay. Is there reporting for that type of
No.
an event?
No,
None.
because
Okay.
we're not licensed to take hazardous waste. So we have to operate as if we have no hazardous waste. As soon as we report we have hazardous waste, then our landfill's out of licensure with the IEPA and it gets shut down.
Mhm. They stick a probe in the containers of clean construction and demolition debris. And it's random. I don't know that they do it on every
Yeah.
single load. But if they find something with that probe, then that load is rejected.
Yeah.
And they have to
Okay.
go somewhere else that will take contaminated debris. And those are special landfills, not ours.
And the other things, just so you know, we were talking about the money and the waste and they track their own. We spot
Mhm.
and weigh not all the loads, but some of the loads also. We don't, but Waste Management does to make sure that
Mhm.
it's, to keep everybody honest.
Yep. All right, anything on page 9? Okay, page 10.
The only thing I had on page 10 was, do we need to put will in front of the county land use department
I don't,
anywhere? Or is county land use okay? I mean, we're assuming they know they're reading the ordinance for Will County.
Yeah, I don't think you need
Okay,
to.
then I'll get rid of that.
uh,
That was it.
Madam Chairman, can I say something
Yep.
too?
Mhm.
In answer to Dan's question, if we look at page 10 under letter C,
Mhm.
that is the fee per yard. The first fee was like a licensure fee. If you
Mhm.
bring this much weight to us, you just pay us this much money.
Mhm.
But this is the fee that they have to pay per
Cubic yard.
waste, which is based on actual volumes.
Mhm.
From what they told me before, it's like a double system. They have to pay two different ways. And I don't know why they do that, but that's just what I
Oh,
was,
make more money that way.
well, but they basically said it's an industry standard, but they couldn't they didn't have a reason why it was an industry standard, but we follow it.
That's okay. Member Butler, you had a question?
And when you're talking about this 20 cents per cubic yard, you're talking about what they pay the county.
No,
Not- You're talking about what the haulers pay Waste Management?
and to the county, our share of it. Waste Management gets
The money.
some money too, and we get some money.
Of the 20 cents?
Mm-hmm. And also of the other bigger fee that was mentioned earlier in that other chapter.
It's between our contract with Waste Management, what percentage they get versus what percentage we get, and I don't know what that is.
I don't remember. They
But
did
this
tell us.
is like to the general public, if I'm dropping my 5 cubic yards of garbage out to the landfill, I have to give them $1.
Mhm,
But that doesn't mean which entity gets what part of that dollar.
right. And in addition to that dollar, you have some other fee that was mentioned earlier in this chapter that you have to pay based on the idea of how much cumulatively you're going to dump there for the year.
Right.
So what is the name of this fee? What is the category of this fee? What does it represent?
This is the pure per cubic yard fee.
This is every time they go there, they get weighed, they pay this fee. The other fee is like a license fee. You're planning to dump X amount for the year. This is the upfront fee you got to pay. And then every time you come in, you also pay 20 cents per
And
yard.
that is
Except-
above and beyond the
Did I
tipping fee?
explain that right?
That's,
I mean, I
this
believe,
is the tipping fee.
yeah, that's what they call the tipping.
This
fee,
is
yeah.
the tipping fee. This one, it's the 20 cents per cubic yard or
That's-
14 cents per ton if you don't do cubic yards.
Right.
I mean, it's,
The other fee is like a usage fee to be able to use the landfill, because when I misspoke, when I said I go there with 5 cubic yards, they wouldn't let me as a private citizen go there.
No.
You gotta be a
A
hauler
hauler.
to go there. You gotta be licensed. They
You
don't.
got to have a contract with them.
Yeah, it's not like the
Yeah.
old days where you could just take your stuff to the dump and pay a fee.
Yeah, no.
the only reason I ask is because, when I go to the dump and I dump 1 ton, it's like almost $90. So I'm just trying to figure out how this 20 cent, it just kind of surprised me that 20 cents per yard. It just seems like they make a lot of money off that.
Well, our tipping fees, that's the part that used to be higher when I was talking about that earlier, and it kind of,
Yep.
it got so high. You turned your mic off again. What the heck? It was the tipping fees that we renegotiated, I believe. That was the issue, not that main big fee. It was
You're
the
right, main
tipping.
big fee's been that way, I think, since it began.
Yeah,
The tipping fees, what I'm really interested in, because I know that they negotiated lower tipping fees because they wanted more garbage
Mhm.
so that they could perform, make more gas. But our dumps are filling up, and right now they have 35 years worth of methane in the ground that could come out. And the plant's only projected to last 30 to 35 years. So why are we giving people a break to bring in more garbage when we're running out of space?
well, I don't know who decides when we renegotiate that again. I don't know if there was a term in the contract. That'd be a question for the landfill committee to ask and find out, or maybe the executive committee. But that's not really what we're here doing. We're
No,
just-
but that's
yeah.
what
Yeah.
it goes to that 20
Right.
cents per cubic
And-
fee. I
and
was not
Those would be
understanding.
the two entities to ask. Member Berkowitz.
Thanks, Jackie. So Phil, on paragraph 1 under C, the third line, after the comma, it says unless the owner or operator waits, it should be weigh.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I found, this is a very, very long sentence, and I had to read it several times to be able to pick out. We're talking about
It's a
two different
paragraph long.
fees, one's per cubic yard, one is per ton. Is there a way to make that a little clearer?
You're right.
It's just one big, long sentence.
Yeah, it's a paragraph long.
There probably is, you gotta realize something. I made no changes. to that.
Right.
If I don't make changes, what you guys as a board.
Yeah.
may pass. I assumed you were comfortable with it, but we
Can we-
put that into two sentences.
Okay, just to make it clear, because I had, the two different numbers jump out at you, but then it's just, it's very hard to grasp
Page 10.
the changes. And then one thing I want to mention that when Marta came before us to talk about the Will County Green, she mentioned the change in the garbage today due to the online world. Our garbage is increasing, unfortunately, cardboard, packaging materials. And then with the sustainability efforts, we are recycling more, we're composting more. And that long-term effect is that will produce less methane gas, because those are the things that break down in our landfill. So I think we have to remember that in the future, that resource is going to continue to decrease as we encourage composting and things like that. And so maybe keep an open dialogue about having our fees at a price where we as a county are sustainable, because we know our landfill's filling up. We know we only have a certain period of time, and then we know the exorbitant costs for the next landfill. So,
All very nice points, nothing to do with this ordinance. Go ahead,
Jackie.
Mr.
Oh,
Matt.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say.
Wait.
I was gonna suggest this.
Just light on.
I'm suggesting this language for C1.
Mm-hmm.
Fees established under this subchapter shall be 20 cents per cubic yard of clean construction or demolition debris or contaminated soil accepted by the clean construction or demolition debris fill operation, period.
Mhm.
However, if the owner operator weighs the stuff and then you got it broken into two sentences.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that sounds really good. Thank you very much. Member Newquist.
Thank you. So the first part of my question got answered about why do we have, the two separate fees, but wouldn't it make sense just to put all the fees together so there's less confusion? I mean,
No.
just a thought, we can't do that?
One's like a licensure fee. You're allowed to use our landfill if you pay fee A. The second fee is if you use our landfill, you pay this much per what you bring.
Okay, but we can't just put that in a single, subheading or sub number, and wouldn't it be a lot less confusing if we did it that way? I'm just asking. If we can't do it, we can't do it.
You can theoretically do it anyway, but you got to realize something. You're dealing with not just the county.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with the waste management, and you're dealing with the people that are already contracting with us. There's been no complaints by them. Why would we want to change something midstream and confuse them?
Nobody said
When
it's
we can
broken.
leave it the same way, but tweak things here and there, and it doesn't really impact them and make them confused.
That's fine. It was making me really confused, so.
Well, again, we don't deal with the landfill on a daily basis. I mean,
Right.
I've had like 2 presentations about the landfill in my whole time on the board, it's like, it doesn't come up every day in conversation. But as we got into it, I remembered it's the tipping fees that were too high that we had to change, if I recall
Yes,
correctly.
we did.
Member Bullock, your light was on, but now it's off. Okay. All right, so we can go to page 11, where we're going to find people.
Yes, they asked me to double the fine. It's within your power, and I have no reason not to make it $1,000 if they violate instead of 500. It's
Yep.
been this way since 1972 or so.
Oh, I think it's long since time to raise the fee. I think that's great. Thank you. As long as everybody here is okay with it. And it's just if you violate something. I mean, if you don't violate anything, it's not a big deal. Right. And if you get caught, you could be violating like crazy, but if you're not caught, you don't even have to pay anything. It's like speeding. We won't talk about that. All right. I think 50 is ready to go forward to the executive committee. Do we
I would-
want to make a motion?
I would ask you to
Mhm.
move
As amended.
to approve as amended.
Right.
Motion Newquist.
Second for motion to approve as amended.
Motion to approve as amended.
Motion to approve is amended by Newquist, second by Freeman.
Yes.
Can I get a previous roll?
No. Roll call. Sorry.
Is it the 11th?
Roll call, please. Member
Newquist.
Newquist, second
And
by
I
member
seconded
Freeman.
it.
And I guess we're gonna do a roll call.
When will it go to executive next month?
Yeah, it'll go there in September. I'm sorry. I don't know how you got turned off. There we go.
Logan,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes.
Butler,
No.
Freeman,
Yes.
Newquist,
Yes.
Trinier.
Yes,
Motion passes.
wonderful. Okay. Now we're on to chapter 51. And this one is all about public works. And we will start with page 1 where we're talking about sewers and sewage disposal, which I find really interesting since I don't believe we operate a sewer or a sewage disposal anything in the county. But I guess this is here in case we ever did decide to have a sewage treatment plant.
No, it also involves septic systems.
Right. No, I figured the septic is in here from what I read, but I didn't know that I don't know. To me, septic is a different word.
I have a question.
Okay, member Freeman.
On 5101,
Mm-hmm.
there's a long list of all these dates.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to have all those dates? I mean, it's interesting to read it, but the way that it's in there is,
Every single time we've
The-
updated it.
the
and then it
re-
says and then, when then we amended it was like, we amended all of these.
The reason that's in there is because these are long-term operations. And you got to have the dates in there because if we go to enforce and somebody tries to claim a grandfather provision, we have to know the trigger date as to when they put their system in before August 5th, 1963. They had to follow those standards, not these standards. Or whichever of the other dates that are in there. That's why they're all left in the body.
Does that help you?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's still worded weird. It's like it was approved in 63, amended, and then a comma.
But-
With another date and another date and another date, then amended. It's just, do you see what I'm saying? It's,
So like, are you suggesting like in the
Don't-
following amendment dates? I don't know.
Don't always think that the law follows correct English or
That's my-
linguistics. It's magic words. They got to be
Okay.
in there for a
all
certain
right.
reason, and
I
that's why
will-
they're in
I
there.
will leave this up to you.
Okay, very good. So we'll go to page 2 where we have all the definitions. Anybody have any questions about those?
I don't believe any changed. There was no need
No.
when I sent it over.
There were no.
Here's what domestic sewage is. Is that like,
No, it's like household waste
Household waste,
Okay.
yeah,
versus industrial sewage.
right.
because I looked at the definitions for, domestic sewage. It doesn't have it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
so-
that's like your houses and then
All right.
industrial is different because they have all kind of really nasty things going on sometimes. Member Butler.
So, well, I'm not quite sure how this fits in here, and I went over this a lot and I couldn't figure out how to put it in, but in the permitting process, the health department offers a soil test and a mechanical design for a septic system or whatever. And, but then when they give it, and that's what the homeowner applies for, and they get the test to make sure everything will drain and everything. But if it doesn't drain, the health department has a disclaimer that says it's not responsible. So, I mean,
That's no different than why does the state have the broad immunities that they provide all of you when you do a discretionary act and you made a mistake, you can't be sued because of it.
Mhm.
It's just because we're government, we
But-
provide ourselves with these protections.
but that opinion or that it requires a fee.
Correct.
So someone's paying to get a permit and pays to get a test and then if it doesn't work and the health department decides to come back and ticket them for their system not working, they're thinking, well, I paid for that soil test. Because, and the health department says, well, we're not really responsible. Sure, we charged you for that opinion. You could have gone somewhere else, but we're not going to be responsible for it. How do you charge money for something that you're not willing to be responsible for?
You charge money for your work, not for your responsibility. They have to send people out there to perform the test. And that's what it's for.
Right, and I'm guessing
Now,
you're
if you
talking
guys
about
wanted to
the
do it
perk
for
test?
free, you could do it for free. That's a
Yeah.
decision you make as well. But that's the
So-
theory
so-
behind it.
Where are you right now?
He's
So
asking
here's,
questions. I
here's my.
have no idea.
Here's what I'm saying. It seems to me.
It's like Julie
that-
talking about what she was talking about.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Okay, it pertains to this and
Okay.
it's an uncovered area. So shouldn't we require a homeowner to have their own perk test? That way they're responsible for the drainage of their land. When we don't require it and we offer what we feel they need, isn't it understood, or shouldn't they have a level of confidence in what we're giving them? Aren't we misleading them by charging them for a soil test that if it doesn't work, we're not responsible for? Shouldn't we have in place a test required for them to provide that their system works? What we should be providing is the minimum requirements for those soil conditions. And we open ourselves up to liability by not offering or not requiring that they get a perk test when they get their system. It puts, in my opinion, it opens us up to liability. I'm sure we're government and we're bigger than they are, but it's misleading for most people.
The homeowners can use, I'm going to use that for an example. The homeowners can use the county staff to come do it for them, which is much cheaper than if you go to
Private.
private septic company. If they want to have the guarantee to sue whoever's wrong, they could choose the private septic company. It is an ability for them to decide which way do they want to go. Do you want to pay more to have the private one and then you have the ability to sue them, or do you want to pay less and rely on the county and take your chances at 99 out of 100 times they're right, but I'd rather save my money now because I assume 99% is I'm going to be winner with this and 1% I may not. It's just an option for them. They don't have to use ours. We don't mandate they use
Nope.
ours.
Not at all.
You
Okay,
guys,
member
I have
Newquist?
No idea what you're talking about.
That's okay.
Serious.
Member
It's actually
Newquist,
a-
he's just asking a general question about our,
How
what we
we
charge for
operate.
and how we operate. Yeah.
Well, what I'm asking is, shouldn't we put in our permitting process for the septic that they supply their own perk test to make sure that the system drains? That's what I'm saying.
Mhm. Go ahead, member
Maybe when we
Newquist.
get
Is that
to
it?
That was my question. Maybe when we get to that part, we should talk about this.
Okay.
Right now, I'm just seeing
I'm on
definitions.
page 3.
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you.
Yep. Page 3. Any questions? Page 4. I mean, he didn't make any changes here. I guess I kind of am curious about all these different kinds of soil. Who decided these names and why, and are they different in every state or?
Well, they're different in every state.
Yeah,
They are set by the state of Illinois and it
the
is,
Water and Soil Conservation Group?
and
No,
I don't think it's them.
It's not that.
I think it is Ag,
Department of Ag?
Department of Ag, because it was originally, these names were given by how good they grow crops.
It's
And
just
that-
wild.
And that's even with the numbers that are in front of them, that's based, on.
Isn't it the percentage of clay in the soil that
it-
determines whether it's drainable? That's why they say.
Oh, it's much more than that, from what
Yeah.
I was told. It
I
is
just
also,
would love to have Houghton Muck soil in my yard.
right, but
Kinds
it's
of
also, it
soil.
also is, it depends on organic versus inorganic,
Mhm.
clay, sand. It's a lot of factors, but the state created all these types of soils, and each type of soil drains a little differently. And that's why they use these
Oh,
types of
you
soil.
know what? It's actually here. I think the answer, it's a number 6 on page 5. A soil overlay based on the latest official soil maps for the county is prepared by the Soil Conservation Service of the United States Department of Ag. So not even the Illinois Department of Ag, the
But
US.
Illinois adopted the US standard.
Okay. And then they go on to talk about the State Geological Survey Division too. So, yeah, I just cracked up over the names. Does anybody have a question on page 5? Member Newquist?
I want to go back to page 4 for a second,
Mhm.
just really quickly, and I should have caught this. So when I'm looking at number 2,
Mhm.
where it talks about the minimum, the minimum lot size shall exclude any easement. Table 2 shall be used in establishing the minimum size, all of the minimums, where it talks about the minimum lot size and width in particular. Isn't some of that governed by our zoning
Separate issue.
ordinances? This is totally
sewer.
related to the ground well
This-
only.
This is related to installing a septic system.
Septic.
Got it.
You gotta realize
Okay.
something. We have in our county, I don't think it's allowed anymore, but we have people with shared septics.
Mhm.
Yes,
Two
I
houses
remember
together
that.
have
where
a
we
shared
did.
septic.
Yep,
Our zoning gives them a big enough lot to build on, but it didn't give them a big enough lot to put a septic field in. This is totally separate.
Mhm.
so the minimum lot size and minimum lot width is independent of any zoning restrictions that we've established.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because you can also have zoning where you have a private company that provides like city sewer to them.
Mm-hmm.
We have a bunch of those out in the eastern end of the county.
Okay. All right, so now back to page 5. I mean, there weren't any changes, so unless somebody has some angst with something there. Member Berkowitz?
Thank you. Phil, on page 3, under section 5103, paragraph A, it says, it references the health authority after the first sentence. Is that the county?
Yes, the county health department.
Can we be more specific?
They are our
It's in the-
health
it's in the
authority.
definitions.
Yeah, it's at the very beginning. Says the health officer and or the executive officer of the county health department or their duly authorized representatives. That is the description
Oh,
of
what
that
health authority means.
definition.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know that I want to change it. I don't see any
No,
need.
because
It's,
it's
Well, it's
clear-
what people are used to using.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, page 6.
Yeah, I found it. Yeah, thank you. See. I had nothing. See.
Page 7. Oh,
6.
member Bullock?
No, I'm waiting.
Go ahead, member Butler.
So I think that there should be an addition to this that requires people to have a perk test to make sure that the septic system that is being installed will drain properly. And that protects the homeowner and the county. I mean, I can understand how the health department may want to do all the soil tests because that would be extra income or whatever coming in. But it just seems a disservice to do a test that doesn't actually calculate accurately the drainage. And when you talk to people from land use or the health department, they will tell you that these maps that the federal government does, they don't go down every acre and test that land. They
Right.
do general studies, and much of the time the land fingers out and the readings can be different. That's why it's important that when a septic field is installed, that it is put on a plat of survey and that those perk tests are done where that septic field is. And then that way, when the homeowner spends $16,000 to $18,000 to get a septic field in an area where the water table is like 15 inches from the surface and can no way sustain that septic system during certain seasons, they would have opted to get a cavitette with a drip field that would have worked there. Okay, now their only recourse at this point is to get another system if they want to comply all year round. So I know it doesn't seem like much, and I know it's trivial to some, but for these people, that's a lot of money. and they're on the hook for it. When they had reasonable expectation that the soil report that they got from the county should have been accurate. And the fact that it wasn't, and then the health department would actually go out and ticket them after they did it. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to sue the health department. I'm just saying, we should put in here a safety valve that just says, hey, you're on the hook for making sure your soil is draining for your system where it is. Because 99.5% of all homeowners that would go for a permit would just say, hey, okay, you say it's gonna drain and this is what we have to do, we're gonna do it. Half of them don't know anything about construction, especially a septic field, including most of the people in this room. So it would be fair to just put in a little, requirement that makes them responsible for the draining of their septic field and that specific portion of their property, because that's where it's happening. And I believe this is the correct chapter to bring that up.
Member Newquist.
It sounds like I know nothing about septic fields, but what you're saying makes sense, logically. Do you have any idea how much those tests cost? Just ballpark? I'm
Well,
curious.
When I was doing them, that was just a few years back, it was like $250.
Okay, so
But I
we're
mean,
not
it might be
talking.
$500 or $600. I don't know, to be honest with
No,
you.
I mean, if, have we had a problem with this where we've given someone a permit to put a septic field that they couldn't ultimately, where they had to move it? Because I see Kelly nodding her head too. Oh, and I mean, where we've had issues, I mean, if this is a real problem, then yeah, I think we probably should.
You be sure of one thing, I never bring anything up unless it
Right.
hasn't been brought up to me.
Mhm.
And I'm just fighting for other people. And I'm not trying to make this a case between that person and the health
Uh-huh.
department.
No, it
What I'm
doesn't
trying to
sound
do
like
is make
it.
a policy decision where the county never subjects itself to this kind of,
Well, I
liability.
think
Maybe we
in order for us to
recommend
do
it.
something like that, we would need somebody from the health department here present, explaining the process that they use, why they use it. I don't think that one person on a committee can really just tell us all that this is how it has to be done. I really would like somebody from that department to come and explain. So if you guys wanted to make
So-
a motion to postpone this
so-
to next month, I would be happy to entertain that.
Can I ask a quick
Member
question?
Freeman and then Member Bullock.
I would like to ask, Phil, what department looked over this section?
Health
Was
department.
And so the health department,
And the health department has an environmental health section that basically deals with this.
and
Yeah, they
they,
do
they
all water
they've
stuff.
already okayed this.
Yeah, this is the
Can
process.
I just interject?
Mr. Butler would like to change the process by adding a caveat in there.
I
and
would agree, I can't.
I
Can
can't
I-
make that.
can I just interject?
In here to talk to me.
I-
So Member Bullock?
Can he interject first and then I will say my piece?
Okay.
So I'm not asking for the health department's process to be changed. What I'm asking is to have it added to land use in order to get their permit to make sure that they get a perk test so that the system drains.
And what I'm saying is I would like the person from the health department, the environmental division, to respond to that. I understand they are trying to reach out to you to have a discussion about your concerns. If you want to make a change in this committee, I don't have a problem. I just think that the committee members need more information to understand what they're doing before we make a decision to do it.
I'm
Member
cu-
Bullock?
Okay, I see what you're looking, well, I think I see what you're looking at, because I'm looking on page 7, D and E. So I'm moving us to page 7.
Mhm.
Under D, it does say that they could render the on-site soil evaluation / classification useless. But the reason they would do that is if what I originally brought to them as the area for my septic, or what are we calling it?
Septic field.
Septic field.
Septic, yeah, for my septic field changed by either I added extra fill, so now it was higher than I said it was gonna be, or whatever. If I alter what I originally brought to them, so once they give me the permit and I go back to my house and I go, oh, you know what, I think I want this to be higher, or I need this to be lower. So then I alter what I originally brought to them. That's the circumstance in which the health department would go, mm-mm,
No.
according to,
I
well,
mean,
according to.
that's
this.
one.
According
But-
to this.
And that would be reasonable. You're allowed 6 to 12 inches of fill that could go over that. But when what they say is they put a disclaimer that they're not responsible for anything, ever, about anything, even if they make a mistake.
But that's not in our ordinance.
I know it's not in the ordinance, but that is the fact. And
But-
that's why the safety measure.
Well, I really think that we need to have them here at this committee, and I would really like somebody to make a motion to postpone this particular chapter to next month.
I would make a motion to postpone chapter 51 on sewer and
5104.
Second, Butler.
sewage disposal until next month with the health department.
Very
can be
good.
present.
Motion by Freeman, second by Butler. Did I have a previous?
Did we do the entire thing or just the
No, we're just
5104?
Stop and get them on.
We'll just move the
It'll
whole
go
thing.
fast once we talk to them.
All right.
Roll call.
Teresa, yes on this one.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Logan, Bullock,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Newquist,
Yes.
Trinier.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'll contact somebody to get them here.
And I would really encourage Mr. Butler to reach out to respond to their outreach.
How did you know they were reaching out to me? Oh, it seemed such a trivial, I'm surprised that got around. Okay.
They want to make sure that it's right. They want to make sure our board. That motion passed, and we're going to go on to chapter 52, which it seems like it's weird and it's been struck out. So, Phil, would you want to enlighten us all about chapter 52?
Sure. Chapter 52 was a provision that we adopted in 1972 where we regulated fire hydrants. I started working with the county in 80 and never heard of this. I called land use. I called the health department. Neither one of them knew anything about it. I finally called the local fire district and they said, the state law says we do this. We never repealed it when the law changed. It says fire districts have to approve it. I knew they had to approve it. But we no longer even have a statutory authority to regulate this. It's been given to a different unit of government.
Should we somewhere put, I mean, we're obviously gonna have to say chapter 52 repealed,
Right, I got a resolution that says that.
and then we'll have like the new stat.
And in the new, and if you looked at the first page under Public Works, it said repeal for it.
Oh, okay. I
And
didn't,
and I don't
to be
have,
quite honest, I didn't read the resolution.
Yeah, the resolution's there.
yeah, the resolution
Okay.
just said it was repealed. Nothing more needs to be done.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a hard time figuring out what it was.
Okay.
So I need to make a motion.
Move to repeal and move it forward
Make a
on
motion
repeal.
to repeal and move it forward as repealed.
Motion by Newquist, second by Logan to repeal chapter 52 and move it forward to the executive committee. Previous vote?
Previous rule, Freeman.
Second by Logan, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, chapter 53, which is water well permit, that's a really strict way to write it, and water supply regulations.
And this is the other half of the septic. The same department does both, although they have sub-departments within that department at the health department.
Yeah, an overall question about abandoned wells. I think.
Sure.
All right, page 1, any questions?
It's on, mine doesn't have a page. That's why I'm looking at the wrong one. Looking at the wrong one. Yeah, looking at the wrong one. But I found it.
Use of groundwater as potable water supply prohibited. I was gonna wait till we get to that section, but it's here in the absence.
Well, let me give you an example.
See, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. This is before I was born. And the DuPage River was originally spring fed. There'd be natural springs bubbling up from it. My grandparents had a cabin on the DuPage River in Shannon Township. They went and took a bucket of water into that spring, and that's what they drank their water out of. They no longer want people to do that. They want them always to have it come up from a pump or it was filtered through the sand that it came up from or whatever. They don't want surface water to be considered potable, even though you could probably drink it without getting sick. There's a chance you could get sick because it's exposed to the air. They only want you drinking below surface water because it's not exposed to the air, and whatever it got filtered through going into the ground and filtered through going up from, to the bottom of your well point. And then you suck it up from your well point. That's allegedly cleaner.
So it's funny, there used to be a pipe sticking out of the road on Bluff Road. Thinking the section that's. Buckets all the time and he would drink it and.
The flowing well at
They
Pilcher
took it
Park
away.
in Joliet was
Was
the
they,
same
they
thing.
had one too?
And they got that closed off.
Ah, okay, so this, whenever that happened, okay. Anything for page, yes, member Newquist.
Thank you. I just have a general question. I feel uniquely unqualified to, like actually review and decide anything on these ordinances. So I guess my question is, how often are these reviewed by somebody who knows what they're doing? And I'm assuming somebody did review these before
They
you.
got sent to the health department.
Okay,
I directed them to, and this one I sent so long ago. I don't know who I sent to, but I talked to him on the phone. I went out there and met with the gentleman because I had another question about water pumps that was unrelated to
Mhm.
this personally. My question was, at the forest preserves, you have pumps you can pump by hand
Yeah.
and water comes out.
Do we
Right.
still
That's
have?
no longer legal. You
okay.
can't do that new. All new water has to be pressurized and sent up with, like,
Where do we have one of those?
Hamel Woods has them.
I'll be darned, okay.
So is there somebody at the health department that is responsible for like updating these as if the state guidelines are updated or?
They follow the state. There's people that will follow the state. If the state statutes change, they would let us know. They would let you know. This is something though that doesn't change often
Okay,
because of the reason that the science behind it has been fixed for a long time as
Got
what's
it.
safe and what isn't. And if you look at the bottom of page 8, it talks about the Illinois Administrative Code. If the Illinois Administrative Code on water supply gets changed, that's what our people look at, and then they notify us to make our stuff match.
and I guess where part of my concern came from was I don't see any changes to this
No, there
entire
isn't.
There isn't.
chapter.
I
No.
went through it with them. He said no changes were needed. Like I said, I sat down with him and went through it line by line, and I asked him what things meant. And the only changes I made were to
Right, the
update the
citations
statutes, the
and-
citations and
Okay.
stuff in the
Mhm.
It just
parentheses.
seemed odd to me that there
I-
were
I
literally
even
no
asked him-
changes.
Right.
but-
I even asked him if we needed to change the fees, and he thought they were okay.
That was gonna be my question. I have that here. It's on page 9. And he thinks the fees are okay. We
Yeah.
don't need to raise anything?
Yeah, he didn't suggest that. Some of the others, like I said, how they suggested doubling the waste hauler fees.
Right.
He said
but
these
nothing
fees
on
are,
this.
it pays for the cost of
Okay.
service, and that's,
Okay.
they're not in a business to make a profit. They just want to cover their costs.
Okay. And that's generally what we look to do in all of our departments. So since there were no changes, does anybody have any questions?
I actually do have another question. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
On page, there's no page number. Under 53.05. Oh, I'm not looking at the red line.
Yeah, you're not on the
Sorry.
right one.
53.05.
That's page 3.
item J, dewatering wells.
Page 4.
It basically says wells designed with the intended purpose of groundwater division shall be constructed to industry standards. So I'm assuming that implies that if industry standards change, our permitting process will reflect that without it necessarily needing to be outlined in in an ordinance. Does that make sense? The way
Yeah,
I just said
that means if they change the standards, we follow whatever the most current standards are.
Okay,
I would
Okay.
like to know what a dewatering well, what is that? That's not our definition.
Dewatering well is, say you were a farmer and
it's on the red line.
instead of running drain tile through your property to
Move the water
move
out.
the water, you have a dewatering well that would suck the water out of your property and then you'd pump it into your river or your stream or your retention pond.
Okay. All right,
It's not real common, but that they do exist.
okay.
I had the same question.
All right, does anybody want to make any changes, propose any changes to chapter 53? We're going to go with the Illinois state, blah, blah, blah. We're happy? Okay, can I get a motion to move chapter 53 to, as amended, because Phil did make some changes on the statute numbers and stuff.
Make a
No,
motion.
no, to you, they're not as amended. This
Oh.
is what I presented to you.
Yeah.
Right. So
Oh.
we're
Just move it
approving
forward.
this.
Okay,
Right.
then make a motion,
I'll
somebody.
make a motion that we approve chapter 53 and move it on to executive.
We have to move it forward to the executive committee.
Yeah, motion to approve it, no. Motion to move forward.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought I said approve it.
All right,
or read
move it
last.
forward with a recommendation for approval.
All right, I'll make a
Move it
motion to move it forward to executive.
Motion to move it forward to executive, as written by Newquist, second by Freeman,
Previous Logan.
previous Logan,
Second Bullock.
second Bullock. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, chapter 54.
Waste hauling.
Yeah, I know, we're into the garbage again. Sorry. It's a necessary evil, as they say. Now, there are a lot of changes in this one, or at least from Phil's
Yeah.
definition.
There is, because when I
Yeah.
sent it to Waste Services, they suggested this
Mhm.
updating on it. Especially with the homeowners association, because they do have some now that they contract together for everybody in their whole
Okay.
subdivision or association to get from like Republic if they're not, whatever they're using, or from Waste Management instead of every homeowner paying
Mhm.
for their own.
Yeah, that was something interesting that I found out working at the township. We have a subdivision called Old Orchard. Each homeowner is responsible for contracting for their own waste removal. So you might have 3 different waste companies going through this little tiny subdivision of 50 houses.
Yeah.
You have that too?
Yeah, it's not all waste
Yeah,
management.
Stager
We have
used to
Republic, we
be
have.
that way, but now
Yeah.
we're not.
Just hold on like that in 2000.
Yeah, and it's up to you to find out who
Yeah.
provides in your little area.
Yeah, it's just,
But that was my question as to why were HOAs in here, but then that makes sense
Yep.
if they're contracting as an entity.
as an entity, yeah. Because I know when I first moved to Bolingbrook, it had just become Bolingbrook, but before then, it was different subdivisions, and I'm sure they had homeowner associations. I know they did. Beacon Ridge had one, so, yeah, interesting. Okay, and then any questions about the unit of local government that was changed?
The reason we put that one in is Lockport Township, I believe, passed a law, whatever you want to say, ordinance that they can contract for all their unincorporated properties to get a better rate for their people.
Got it, yeah.
And the theory behind it, because they called me up and talked to me about it
Yeah.
years ago when they were doing it. I don't even know why, but they did. And they thought, number one, what you said, it's easier to only have one truck go down the road and hit every house than
And
20
all on
trucks.
One day.
on one
instead
day,
of
the
3
same day.
different days.
And so that's why they put unit of local government in, because that changed it.
Yeah,
But it would apply to anything. If say a school district was big enough that they wanted to
have their own.
have their
reason.
own, they could do their own.
Okay. All right, that's good. That's page 1. Any questions? Page 2. We just retitled the Waste Services to Resource Recovery and Energy Division. Because I think that's what was
That
in
is
the
what they told me it's
definitions.
called now, yeah.
Yeah. And then it talks also about the annual reports and what it must include, and that's what we talked about earlier, the volume and the tonnage. And then he added the two new units of government there, HOA and the local. And then you've reiterated the fine, right? That's the same fine.
Right, they asked for
1,000.
it to be increased here also.
Yeah. Okay. That's the whole chapter, folks. Any questions? Any comments? Can I get a motion to move forward?
Motion to send this to executive.
Motion by
Second.
Freeman,
Second Nucleus.
second by Newquist,
Previous slogan.
previous Logan,
Second Bullock.
second Bullock, and all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're moving that one forward. Now we have a really big one next, number 55 on stormwater. So before I started, I want to poll the room. We have a noon committee of the whole meeting. Do people think they'd like to pause here and then go to lunch or get food or make calls and get ready for the noon meeting? Or do you want to start this and not finish it? Because I don't think we're going to get
I
through
don't
it.
think we're gonna finish it.
And,
I think
and
that's.
Jackie, the next one, 56, is almost as long.
Yeah,
It's not like a short
no,
one.
it's not like we're going to do anything.
This is a good stopping spot.
Okay, everybody good with that? Then I will take a motion to adjourn. Oh, wait, I got to do public comment. Sorry, I got to get back to my agenda. We
Oh,
have no new
Could I
business.
do a new
Yes.
business?
Yeah.
I hate to tell you this.
Okay. I'll
I-
survive.
I screwed up the purchasing ordinance.
Yeah, you didn't screw it
Well,
up.
no, I did, because I pulled the one off that was submitted to you and used that language, not realizing it got amended on the floor.
Yeah.
So it's not going to the September meeting. I just wanted everybody here to know.
Yeah.
And it will get corrected, and I apologize to you that I pulled the wrong one off, but I screwed up. I just wanted to let you know.
Well, I wasn't going to let you fall on your sword. I was going to talk about it in comments by the
Oh,
chair.
okay.
So, but yeah, so we'll get that one back next month to
And
be
it'll be in
approved
the
again.
proper form that,
That was,
with the, what you actually passed instead of what was
yeah, a
proposed.
couple months back, we passed it. So that'll come back to us. So anyway, any public comment, any public comment, any public comment? By announcement, that was it. I do have one other thing I wanted to talk to staff about and all of you. Landfill meets just before us. There have been times when they have not met for whatever reason. And obviously, we know that pretty well in advance. Would you guys want to start our meeting at 9 if there is no landfill committee meeting? And then we get. done a
When would
little
we
sooner?
know?
Can we do that?
We would know like the week before. Usually they know if they're going to have an agenda because their agenda gets done same time as ours.
But can we do that? Like if our committee meeting was already posted?
I don't know. Oh, no, they get posted like at the same time, so we would know. And I'll let the chief of staff tell us what his thoughts are.
Well, I defer to the council on that. We print a schedule of meetings at the beginning of the year that indicates that land use will be held at this time. But once again, we've got an obligation to print the agendas, to schedule the meeting 48 hours in advance. If we're able to do that, we would certainly be able to let the committee know that, hey, we don't anticipate a land use or a landfill
Landfill
committee meeting this month. And we'll give you at least 2 weeks' notice on that and then let the, and schedule it. So.
We're an ad hoc committee anyway. We moved it to a different day last month. We had it on the 22nd.
And also you got to realize, you never take the final vote.
No, it goes to executive.
So if you did something procedurally wrong under the Open Meetings Act, your votes are meaningless because it's the final vote that counts.
Yeah, at the full county board.
And so I think you could do that if you chose to. And I would, it's your guys' choice. But my question to you is, next month may not be the right month to do it because or we can start with these other chapters first. Because when I contact the representative to come and talk to you
From the health department.
from the
right.
health department, I was going to tell them 10.
Mhm.
And you could just, if we started at 9, they'll come at 10, but we could
Yeah, we can
stop
just
wherever
stop
we
where
are and then get into them.
Yeah, that should be fine. And honestly, even if we tell them 10, if we tell them a week before or 2 weeks.
They'll
it's
probably
not-
be able to make it.
They can make it at 9. I can't believe they wouldn't be able to. So if that sounds okay to you guys, just because, Yeah, and they know if there's gonna be something on the land use or landfill, sorry, I keep saying land use, landfill committee, because they either have somebody coming to speak and they have a topic, or they don't, they have no business to do. Because I know over the last few months, there has been no landfill committee multiple times. And we could have started earlier and still could have gone till noon if you wanted. But I am trying to get us through this and I suspect going forward, if there's another committee of the whole, they're probably going to do it on this same Tuesday. And
I will say this, it seems that with this committee always having a hard 2-hour stop, it makes it easier to schedule a committee of the whole on this day
mhm,
pursuant to what the pleasure of the board is. The board wants it always on working days after we've had meetings.
Right.
This seems to make a lot of sense. So then staff will just assume that if there's no land use committee
landfill.
or landfill committee, I
Doing it
apologize.
too.
If there's no landfill committee, that we'll just schedule you at 9 and we'll give the committee at least 2 weeks advance notice on
Yeah.
that. So.
Yeah, that'd be great. As long as Phil, you're okay with it?
Please don't make it just one of those, accept this meeting time. I just accept all, it's like count all of them. Be an hour late.
No,
We'll make sure you get there.
they'll do a new, yeah. Yeah, he does. He's very good about it. Yep.
For some odd reason, you don't really get any members of the public.
No, this is boring to people. We don't have a need for executive session. We don't even have an official state's attorney here. We have Phil, but yeah, operating in that capacity. Go ahead, Member Bullock.
So, and I may have missed this. Did we say that we wanted to have a printed copy of the original ordinance?
I want the red line. that's all.
Okay, because this past time, I'm trying to save trees. This past time, we got both. We got red line and original. So,
No, you got not original, you got unredlined, which would be the modified version going to the county board. I'll only send you guys the red line from now on if you want.
Yeah, I just need to see the red.
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, that's,
There's a case where there's a total repeal, then I'll just send you the resolution repeal.
yeah.
okay, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
The red line, it's all scrubbed.
Okay, all right.
Really appreciate
I'll put sending the clean copy, that's what I call it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we don't need that,
Give the county the clean copy, because when it goes eventually to the county board, it's the copy.
right?
gotcha. All right.
for printing this out for us.
Yes, Sandy, that's
Yes.
very nice.
We appreciate that.
I really would, I don't know if anybody else cares about their old book or whatever, but I would really like all the final ones that we've passed, a nice clean copy to put in my book. And then I'd like to throw all this stuff away. Nobody else is interested? Okay, I'll do my own.
I mean, we can.
I don't
clean-
even
we
know
can
where to
look at the
find 'em
clean
online.
copy on our tablet in the section if you still want to include it.
Oh, now that would be good,
So
but
the clean copy can be there and we can red copy paper.
That's a good
So
idea.
just copy the red line.
Yeah.
I'll still send you both then, thanks.
That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
But just.
Yeah.
the red line.
can I get a motion to adjourn so you guys have time to eat? Motion by Newquist, second by Freeman, all in favor? Those opposed?